Okay, so today is Thursday, June 27th, 2024. As I am prone to do, just realized, oh shit, yeah, this is the last Thursday of the month. I'm supposed to do my month in review and looking ahead to next month. But also, there's not much to say anyway. I actually have a decent amount of just stuff to talk about for the week, but yeah, what the fuck did I do in June? I didn't watch much. I watched Smiling Friends. I liked both seasons quite a bit. I think at some point I would actually probably want to do a tier list just of all the episodes of both seasons. Um I think that's all. No, because I watched a few movies, namely Godzilla. I watched Smiling Friends, I watched Godzilla. I didn't really play anything. I played a little bit of Multiverses. I'll probably play the game more when the Powerpuff Girls eventually show up, because that's the character I really wanted to play as, and if Ruby is in fact coming to the game, I will definitely try to play Ruby as well. I don't think I read much of anything besides Worm. I still haven't read that Twilight book. I still haven't watched Atlanta. There's been a lot of studying, and then looking ahead to next month. What is that going to be? More studying. The bar is literally the last 2 days of July. So, study, take the bar, listen to Worm, probably watch some more Godzilla movies, and doing some writing. I think the really big thing is I have been revising Orichalcum, which is the manuscript. I haven't been doing a lot with Severance right now, which is the VN. When studying is done, I'm probably going to try to go more back into Severance. Maybe have more of a schedule. It's all right, this week I'll mess with this one, and this week I'll mess with this. But right now, Orichalcum just has my attention. I finished the third chapter. I've made my revisions on that one. I've started a chunk of the next chapter. I don't actually remember how many chapters there are, especially because I didn't number them. I just kind of, for every chapter, and this was more of a me thing, I don't know if when I actually am I'm done with this, if I'm going to just use the character name. Like this. For every chapter, I just put chapter and then the name of the narrator. And that is something for me to be able to just kind of tell, okay, who, so I know when I'm going, this is this character's chapter, blah, 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 blah. It makes it easier to find shit. I don't know if I'll just say, chapter 1, if each chapter will get its own name, if I will just kind of keep it as, chapter character, if it'll just be the name of the character without the word chapter, but you know what it is. We'll see, we'll figure it out. So, like I was saying, because of that, I actually don't know how many chapters there are in the book. There's a decent amount, and there's a lot of chapters, especially when you get to the end, the last 70-ish pages. Okay, a lot of this is going to have to be cut or reworked, and a lot of new shit is going to be added. So I think for a good chunk of it, the editing's going to be pretty smooth. There's definitely stuff I've had to rework, add, cut, etc., etc., but it feels like it's been a relatively painless process. And I think the other day I described it as, it's like a jigsaw puzzle, but I have more pieces than I actually need, and it's just figuring out what pieces do I use, what pieces do I just not fuck with. Once I get into the later parts, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to do a lot more. I don't know if I want to say substance. I guess this is the thing. It's what I feel like I'm doing now is almost more procedural writing. It's I've got it. I just need to touch it up, figure out what to, like I said, what to keep, what to take away, and what to add. And then it's okay. I just have to write new shit now. This is substantive writing. But that is going, and I like it a lot. Actually, talking about my week, that was a big thing, was working on Orichalcum, got another chapter done. I had neglected Worm for a while, because Worm is one of those things where, if I haven't read it for a bit, I'm alright, I'll get to it when I get to it, and then when I get to it, I'm oh yeah, I really fucking like this. Or, literally last night, I'm on Arc 22, I finished Taylor's section, I have 2 interludes left. My understanding is that it's Charlotte and Lung, and given what just happened in the story with the introduction of Weaver, I won't give any more context to that until I do a Worm video on it, I'm very excited to read Charlotte's chapter. I'm just excited to read Lung's chapter in general. I really like Lung, and to see more shit in the birdcage, that is super exciting to me. But, last night, as I was reading 22, I had that conundrum that I feel like I haven't really felt in a long time, which is, I need to go to sleep, but I want to keep reading, which is always a good sign. That's how you know, like, you really like the book, you really like the story. I was like, fuck, I need to go to bed. I can read a little bit longer, but I need to stop. I had a good time. Story very good. Okay, so when it comes to Severance the VN, like I said, I haven't really done a lot of writing for it in a while, which arguably is a good thing. Like, kind of the same thing with Orichalcum. Like, I'm doing a lot of more procedural edits. I don't think there's a lot of substantive edits I'm really going to need to be doing. Potentially, if I want to add, like, interludes, but I don't think I really do. I'm happy with the story as is, but I know I can make it better. Like, make it flow better, function better, trim some fat, etc., etc. We do have the last main character design, I think will be next week or the week after, and then we can move on to sprites, and I'm very excited for that. But there is kind of the part of me that says maybe if I'm going to be doing a lot of procedural shit, it is good to kind of step back, work on something else for a while, and then come back and be like, okay, now that I've had some time to disassociate, I can maybe be a little more objective and say, like, what really are the problems chapter by chapter? What are the things I'm like, yeah, knowing what happens later, or the fact that I now have this character design, I know what they look like, there's some details I need to change, etc., etc. So I'm really looking forward to doing that after the PAR exam when I have time to do things again. Like, I'm so excited for August, because, like, I don't have to study, I don't have to stress about this thing, I can watch Atlanta again, I can read the gender swap Twilight book, I can play Xenogears, my birthday. I think I know what I want to do for my birthday. What sounds amazing to me, if I can get it to work, is I want to do a stream, and I'm just gonna watch Madoka. I am going to rewatch Madoka Magica for the 8th time. Because I've seen it 7 times. I'm like, look, the movie's coming out, I don't know when. They said winter 2024. That was last year, around September, I think. And I remember at the time going, okay, when you say winter 2024, does that mean winter is in February or winter is in November? Because, I mean, one of those sounds a lot better than the other, and very clearly, since the movie hasn't come out yet, it means more like November or December. And what I'm expecting to happen, which is gonna suck, is that the movie will come out, but it won't be a simultaneous release where I could just, like, watch it in a theater, like, dubbed or I've watched the show dubbed and subbed. I like both versions quite a bit. For this upcoming version, I want to watch it subbed, because I just haven't seen it subbed in a while. So I don't think I have. I think I usually watch it dubbed, because that's the default option in most versions. I know at least the first couple times I watch it subbed. Anyways, point. Next time I want to watch it subbed, just because it's been a while. What's probably going to happen is, movie comes out, there is no subtitled version, it's not the English dub, so I will not be able to watch it probably for several months. And that's gonna be ass, because like, it's out and I want to see it, but I can't look up spoilers because I don't want to know shit. And I remember when Rebellion came out, I went silent. I was like, I don't want to know shit about this movie. And I waited so long, and I was on the Madoka wiki. I don't even know. I think I had learned about the PSP game. Maybe it's like a Vita game or some shit. I don't know. Where there's witch versions of all the main cast. And I was like, oh, I gotta take a look at this. This sounds sick as fuck. Yo! And as I'm looking at one of the articles, because I'm like, cool, I'm learning shit about the game I didn't know about. This is some, like, interesting lore that is not in the show. I then see for one of the characters, like, yeah, here's her witch version. Here's how it is in Rebellion. And I was just like, no! I had put so long without spoilers! And it was like a week or so before I ended up watching the movie too, and I was like, fuck, like at the 11th hour, I wasn't even trying! I've heard about this movie's ending and like how fucked up it is and without any context, and now I know why, and the funniest part is I did not know what the ending actually was. It was an important part of the ending. It's like I got a major part of the climax spoiled. I didn't know about what happened after, and I remember, oh wow, I remember when I watched it for the first time. And yes, like my plan is to watch all 12 episodes and then to watch Rebellion right after, which funny enough, like 12 episodes, Rebellion's like 2 hours, so it's the length of about 4 episodes ish, which is a total of 16, and I'm like, huh, my 8th watch, 16 episodes, my birthday is 8/16. Huh, that works out kind of well. And I'm really looking forward to it. I think it was on Sunday. I was taking a walk and it's like high 90s or some shit. It was not the best walk, but I had a good time because I was just listening to Madoka music. And the more I was listening to Madoka music, I was like, fuck, I really want to watch this again. Like at that point, I already kind of thought about maybe I can do this on my birthday. Because I've been thinking about what I wanted to do on my birthday, and this sounds really nice. I'm like, I'm so excited. I'm considering just watching it right now, which I didn't. I'm holding off. Like, this is gonna be time number 8. But yeah, hopefully there won't be any problems. I can get the stream to work. I can screen share. We can find it somewhere. Like, I'm pretty sure it's still on Netflix. It's not on Netflix. Like, it's on Hulu. It's on Amazon. I've seen it on... Maybe it's not on some of these and it's been removed, but I've seen it on so many different streaming services. I don't have the whole series on DVD. I don't have the first 4 episodes. I have 5 through 8, and then 9 through 12, plus Rebellion. I have Rebellion twice, because I have just a copy of Rebellion, and then I got the 10th... Yeah, I had a twang there for a second. I have the 10th anniversary celebration, which is all 3 movies. And I will go and say, like, I don't want to watch the first 2 movies. I think the pacing of them without the episode breaks, it just feels weird to me. I would rather just watch the 12 episodes and then watch Rebellion. There will definitely, I'll say this, like, clearly it's not a blind watch. I've seen it 7 times. It's also not going to be a quiet watch. Like, I am going to be talking the entire time. It was like, here is commentary. Like, here is why this scene works. Here's why this part to me is super interesting. It's like, here's why I really like this song, or the fact that this song is playing in this scene is really interesting to me because of X, Y, and Z. Like, I love it. Like, when I say it's my favorite anime, that is not an exaggeration. When I say it is my favorite work of fiction, there are genuinely very few things that I think can actually give it a fight for that. The Toy Story series is one. Spirited Away is one. I would say Sea Cats is a contender for that. Friendship is Magic is a contender for that. I think Muv-Luv is a contender for that, and like Trails, the Persona games. I would probably have to put Celeste in there. There's maybe another couple I could maybe think of. It's like, when I think of my favorite works of fiction, those are some of them, and to me, Madoka is still on top. I am so excited for this next movie. I am so excited to watch it again, and being able to watch it with people. Like, I don't know if I'll have anyone with me. I don't know if I'll ask, like, Clay to watch it with me for the upteenth time. Maybe I'll ask some of my other friends who haven't seen it, which will make the commentary a little weird. So I'm like, I don't want to spoil anything for you. And, like, if there's actually people watching with me, like, that'd be great. Sorry, I'm just like, yeah, I might just watch 12 episodes in a movie with literally no one there and still be talking the entire time. And, like, yeah, I can do that. I've done that shit before anyways. Just not on stream. But if there are people there, I'm like, I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen it yet. But I need to talk about this. But we'll cross those bridges when we get to them. But I am very, very, very excited to get to those bridges. Other shit. I did record some Worm videos this week that I've been meaning to do for a fat minute. So Arc 19 is recorded, 20 is recorded, 22 is not yet finished, and I don't have my notes down for 21. I don't feel like I had a whole lot to say about 21, but half the time when I say that in a video, it still ends up being like 40 minutes because I am loquacious to a fault. But I'm hoping over the weekend, maybe probably like Sunday, because I work today. I work in like 30 minutes, and then I'll work tomorrow and Saturday. So I'm hoping Sunday, because I think we're doing a group thing on Sunday, but I'm hoping before that I can get my Worm notes done, or maybe Monday, because I don't think I'm working Monday unless there's a hearing I don't know about. To like get my notes ready for 21 and 22 and then try to record them. I expect to finish Arc 22, if not today, because I still have like a couple hours left. If not today, then probably tomorrow, and I don't know when I'll start 23. Maybe like right after, maybe I'll like wait a day, we'll see what happens. Trails had its 20th anniversary, that just makes me happy. I fucking love that series. Which is fun because the Ren figure that I got finally arrived. It was either earlier this week or pretty late last week. And I got my notification this morning that the Estelle figure is shipping. I'm really excited for that one. I just have the word watermelon written down because we have a watermelon in the house. We had some the other day and it's really fucking delicious. I really like watermelon. Years ago when I was in law school, I was hanging out with some friends. We were at the beach. We had a bonfire. We had watermelon. We had marshmallows. So I roast a marshmallow. When I roast a marshmallow, I fucking burn that shit. It's not the best, but I'm bad at this. So I'm like, I don't know. It's just, it is what it is. I take a marshmallow and I put it on a piece of watermelon. I'm like, let me do this real quick. Because now that it's in my head, I have to see how this is. This is amazing. I remember just like, remember that scene in Ratatouille when Ego eats the ratatouille? From what I understand, it's not actually ratatouille, it's another dish, but it's called ratatouille. I don't know enough about that. But when he eats Remy's dish and he like has that flashback to when he was a child and sampling his mother's cooking, and it reminded him of a time in his life when things were so much simpler and he could love food without having to judge it and all that shit, and it's a beautiful scene. I kind of experienced that. I was like, this might be the genuinely best thing I have ever put in my mouth. And no one believed me. Like, no one tried it. Like, what the fuck? That's weird. Why would you do that? I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, try it. It's great. And I have never had it again. And I want to so bad. But I wanted to bring that up. Like I said, Smiling Friends, the last episode came out Monday, so I am finished with the season. I talked about my birthday. The only other thing is, so after one of the games near the end of the direct was the new Kodaka game. And that is, I think it's called 100 Line, which is basically, my understanding is, so it's Danganronpa, but it plays like Fire Emblem. I'm like, oh, I could definitely see how permadeath is gonna work out. Oh, this might be wild. And I replied to one of Kodaka's tweets. I don't remember exactly what it was. It was just like, hey, the game's coming out, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I still need to play Raincoat, because I have a copy of it. I got it for like during like an Amazon Christmas sale last year. It's been on the list all year. I am looking forward to playing it. I don't know when. Given this like 2.5 month delay from the bar, I might not get to touch it till next year, but it'll be pretty near the top of my list next year if I don't get to it. And I got a response from him, and it wasn't anything crazy. It was like, yeah, like, absolutely, play Raincoat first, then play the other one. I'm hoping to get Raincoat on Steam pretty soon. And I was just like, Senpai noticed me. Like, I was really happy, because I'm a very big fan of the Danganronpa games. I don't think I talk about them a whole lot, but my experience with V3 was fucking magical. Like, I remember, I'm done with my notes. This is just kind of the last thing I wanted to talk about. I remember when the game was announced, it was one of the things that made me buy a PS4. I was so excited for it. And anytime information about the game was coming out and officially revealed, I was like, give me more, give me more, give me more. The day the game went out, I didn't look up a thing. And the only thing I was looking up is, do we have an announcement yet? Do we have an announcement yet for when it's coming out in English? And I got the announcement. I was like, okay, I am pre-ordering this game. This is the day it is coming out. And I remember that semester, I was like, okay, I have planned out my absences, because you only get a certain amount. I mean, like, it's law school, it's college, you can go to class or you cannot. You're not truant, no one's really gonna stop you. You should, you absolutely shouldn't cut class, but I was like, I have an amount of absences per class, and there were maybe some days I was like, I don't really want to go to class today. I was like, no, I need to go to class today, so I don't have to go when Danganronpa 3 comes out. And yeah, when it came out, and like, I still went to some of my classes, don't get me wrong, but I was like, okay, I am basically not going to interact with people for like a week. And it was wonderful. It was fantastic. I remember playing Munchkin as the game was downloading, and like right as the game finished downloading, I had divine intervention. I won, and I was like, cool, love you guys. I'm done with this. I need to play this. And because I was on the West Coast, it unlocked at 10 p.m. instead of at midnight, and I played from like 10 to 6 in the morning. And I finished. It was the prologue to the first chapter, and it was amazing. It was wonderful, and I played the shit out of it that week. I know. I feel like I have talked about this very recently on this channel. Oh, I think it was when I was talking about my favorite PS4 games. Maybe I said something about it during the direct, but I think it was when I was talking about my favorite PS3 game. PS4 games, because this was number 3 on the list. And I know the ending is very controversial. I love the ending, and a big reason I love the ending is because I have genuinely no idea how much of it has actually happened. It is a game about lies. It is a game about deception. So the fact that I can look at it and go, I know they're telling me this and they're presenting it as truth, but I don't believe them, and I don't think and I think that is a genuinely valid interpretation not to believe them, because that's what the game is all about. This is amazing. I fucking love it. And I remember coming up with an idea for a Danganronpa 4. This is very spoilery for the end of Danganronpa 3, so I'm not going to go super deep. I probably will go super deep into it, but I have work in a bit. But yeah. Give you a countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Spoilers are now live for the end of Danganronpa 3. Basically, my idea was, what if instead of it being a bunch of like students or volunteers, as it kind of seems to be like with the V3 cast, you're playing as the members of Team Danganronpa, and that's the big twist. It's one of the big twists. Like, they don't know that. They just think they're high school student, or like maybe college students, because I'm imagining they're a little bit older, which also would be kind of like an interesting thing. Like, oh, okay, the cast's a little bit older. And their talents all revolve around like the shit they did in the team. Like, for example, one of the characters is the toy maker. This is the person that actually produced all the Monokumas, but she just like makes toys and makes dolls, blah, blah, blah. You have the architect, who, this is the guy that actually makes like the sets and all the shit for the executions and blah, blah, blah. You have like the movie critic or the film critic, or like it was a director, it was something to do with movies, who, actively works on the set. You have the dancer, who like, he does a lot of the choreography whenever that's needed. You had a composer, and this was the person that does a lot of the music. One of my favorite jokes in it was the thief. And there was a character who, like, she was a ninja and everything, and she was a thief, and the joke is she's actually the writer, because as a writer, you get influences from everywhere. You're like, oh, that's really cool, I'm gonna steal that. That's really cool, I'm gonna steal that. I thought that was kind of funny. And blah, 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 blah. There's other characters. a major like motif in the game is the number two, and the idea of like, you know, like two sides to like coins, and you know, like twins specifically, because it takes place not in a school, but it basically takes place at Disneyland. It's like Monokuma World, and instead of like the big statue of like Walt and Mickey, it's a fucking Monokuma. And I liked the idea of like, I kind of didn't mind the Monokuma kids of having park mascots, and specifically there's two of them. There's Mononezu and Monozumi, who are these like mouse themed things. Again, like it's Disneyland. Like it's not quite Mickey Mouse, but it's like a parody of Mickey Mouse. And what was I about to say? So that's part of like the theme of like two and twins. The first chapter, there were going to be two playable characters, because you were playing as this one guy who's the hero, and his whole thing was like he was the MC of being Team Danganronpa. He was the face. So you're playing as him until he dies as the first victim. Then you were playing as, I think it was the ultimate intern, who is the actual protagonist of the game. It's like, all right, you've had two playable characters. The second chapter had two possible killers. And the way it worked was essentially like one character set up like I've got my plan, blah blah blah, I've got my alibi, this elaborate trap, which was like a spring gun that hit a character through the gut. But the way the character died was like through anaphylactic shock, and the way and it was because there was like this big event that they were playing, like, you know, like let's not kill each other in harmony and blah blah blah. And the botanist had brought like these specific flowers, not knowing that this character was allergic to them. So the character died not from the elaborate plan, but from a pure freak accident, unrelated. And the characters are now like, how the fuck do we handle this? Do we vote for the person who's actually guilty, but had no intent to do so? Or the person who had the intent? So like, if we do this, we are living with someone who tried to kill one of us, who wasn't successful. And I mean, they all do that because they all want to live, but I thought that was a really interesting idea. Chapter 3 has a double execution, which is something I've been really wanting. I wanted it so bad in V3. There's a double execution. Chapter 4, I sincerely don't remember what the like 2 theming was from that chapter. 5 was the character who planned the murder in chapter 2 is now the victim, and they died in the way that they tried to kill the other person, and it's supposed to be like it's the twin of chapter 2. And then in chapter 6, when you get like all the big reveals, everything is final. This is gonna sound super fanfiction-y, because it is. Because at the end of V3, they reveal that Kaede has a twin sister, and like didn't do anything with it. It was like, yeah, you'll blah 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 blah. And my brain went, Kaede was executed even though she didn't kill anybody. They cheated in V3. What if the audience didn't like that? And they're like, no, that's bullshit. The whole thing is fucked up, but you have rules and you didn't play by your own rules. What if they were called out on that? Excuse me. So the V3, like the Team Danganronpa, now has to play their own game, and the person that's the head of it all is Kaede's sister. And I kind of like the idea that it's less of, you killed my sister, you pieces of shit, I want my revenge, and just more of, no, you didn't play by the rules. And because you didn't play by the rules, as her sister, you know, I kind of feel obligated to do so. Like, she is actually, like, an intern in Team Danganronpa. And I kind of like the idea that it's like, all right, if the ending of V3 is legit, maybe the reason Kaede kind of got onto the show is because her sister, as an intern, was able to pull some strings, and, well, shit, this all happened. And, I also like the idea that the main character that you were playing as the entire game is the mastermind, because we haven't had that. So, I also think it ended with her execution, because of course it did. I think that's about it. I guess going over the executions real quick from what I remember. That's be quick, because I have to go to work pretty soon. You had the accountant, And the way he died was he was locked in like a bank vault as the walls are slowly closing in, and the combination, this is kind of jigsaw-y because I know this is the thing in Saw, it's like the combination is written on the walls and there's a combination lock, and he actually figures it out in time, and he has like a chance to escape. He like poses for a second, adjusts his glasses, and the walls go from like slow to just boom, dead. Second is the botanist, who is put in like a giant garden where there's a giant Monokuma, or maybe it's Monozumi, I don't remember, who's like working with a weed whacker and gets her with the weed whacker. Number 3 was the double execution. I think it was the dancer and like the director. And I think the dancer was like playing a game of DDR, and anytime he fucked up, like there was fire going on, like getting more and more intense. And I remember by the end, it was just like a pair of smoking shoes. The director was like in the film in like a film reel, and as Monokuma's like putting it through the film reel, it gets like really fucked up and mangled, and then Monokuma is able to fix it and looks at the screen, and the player does not see the screen, but Monokuma sees it and is actively disturbed by what the fuck he's seeing, like, oh that's bad, okay. Like, yickety yikes, we're cut, folks. Number 5 was like the D&D player who like gets, this is actually something I took from Clay, because Clay had been coming, like he was playing Danganronpa, had not gotten to the end of 3, and was like, I would like to come up with my own idea, and I was like, yeah, with the ending of 3, I'm not sure how you would, but I'm not going to spoil that for him. But then as he was getting into it, I was like, fuck, I kind of want to come up with my own. This is one I stole from him, because I thought it was really cool, is the dude is like a wizard or whatever, and he's fighting a dragon, and he kills the dragon, but Monokuma, being Monokuma, cheats and just brings the dragon back. So it's like he keeps fighting and beating this thing, but it keeps coming back, and eventually it wears him down and he dies. Oh, that was chapter 5. I skipped chapter 4. Chapter 4 was like the circus performer, the acrobat. And I think what it was, yeah, it was like, she's supposed to go on to like to the trapeze, but there's like a tiger, or that was it. I think there was like a tiger behind her, a trapeze in front of her, and then like no net. And she doesn't want to go, but the tiger like forces her to go. So she jumps, grabs the trapeze, but it's like slicked in Vaseline, so she can't grab onto it, and then she just falls to her death. I don't actually remember how I killed Asuka. Asuka was the name of Kaede's sister. I don't remember all the names. I remember Asuka, and I remember Uzumaki was the name of the ninja of the thief. Because Uzumaki ninja, of course I did. I was like, where did I get that from? Naruto. I don't remember how they died. I think I was just like, I don't know. I'm a big fan of the detention execution from Danganronpa 1. Let me just do that. And I think that was the plan. So that was that. I think that's it for this video. I need to go to work in probably a few minutes. So see ya. Have a good day.